Live from our studio in Lagos, this is Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. We apologize for starting late. Nigerians are experiencing reduction in the price of petrol as the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and Dangote Refinery commence what has been reported in some quarters as a fresh price war following 4 price drops by both firms. We've seen reduction in petrol price. Some retail outlets belonging to the NNPCL Limited have adjusted the petrol pump price to 860 naira and 888 naira per litre respectively in Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory, and quite a number of other adjustments across the country as well. Recall that barely 6 days ago, Dangote Refinery reduced its ex-depot petrol price from 890 naira to 825 naira per litre, setting another price regime for the petrol market in Nigeria. They say what's happening now in the downstream sector, the downstream oil and gas sector, is the beauty of deregulation, and Nigerians seem to love it in anticipation of further price reduction. What does this mean, however, for the sector, and what should Nigerians expect in the coming days? I'm joined by Publicity Secretary of IPMAN, is scheduled to join us on the show, but also joining me right now is energy expert and MD Mountains Energy Solutions, Olusegun Okedoye. Mr. Okedoye, thanks for joining us on the program. What do you make of the dynamics of what's happening right now in the market? There are conversation about what it means for profitability of marketers. We're going to talk about that shortly. But how do you think the Dangote Refinery's move will impact competition rather in the market?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, our viewers. It's a welcome development. If we look at the Dangote Refinery, it's the single largest train refinery in the sub-Saharan Africa. And with the government intervention in it, having to sell the crude in naira, we expect the market forces and the ease of getting product to refine bring about price reduction. In fact, this is a welcome development, and we are hopeful and looking forward to more reductions in the coming year as it is stabilizing. This will also affect the other marketers like NNPCL and the modular refinery coming up to brace up for a further and friendly environment for business owners and Nigerian at large. This will ensure that more people have access to the product and stimulate productivity.
It is good news, especially for the average Nigerian who now has to, buy fuel at 65 naira less than what the price was before. But do we really understand what's going on? Because Dangote says the price cut is to provide economic relief to Nigerians during the Ramadan period. But we're also hearing that oil prices has fallen about 2% to a 12-week low on Monday. Which of these factors is really playing out?
Yes, it's also most of the real cogent one that I can quickly finger is a price reduction in the international oil price market in the market. Having said that, the industry is regulated in dollars because most of the equipment and maintenance tools that they need to run the refinery are purchased in dollars. Albeit, the federal government of Nigeria played a vital role in supplying the crude in naira. So with these two factors, it enables Dangote Refinery and by inference, every other local refinery to have a breathing space to play around with price reductions or relief to Nigeria. I want to believe that it will not stop at the Ramadan period. It's something that we should look forward to. Also, with a caveat, if the price of the crude oil in the international market rises, there is possibility of having a bit of increase. But by and large, this is what the regulations is all about. It's all about having the market forces determine the true price of pump price of petrol, not arbitrarily fixing it, not an MPDRA sitting down in one corner and determine how much we are going to buy the product. It is a welcome development that all Nigerians will embrace.
Well, there are others who have also shared similar optimism that the price will further drop in the coming days. But do you think this administration is under pressure to drive the price down, considering what it was before this administration was inaugurated?
Yeah, it's something like that, because Nigerians are clamoring. If you go to hinterland, where some of us have business interests or family or relative, you will notice that people are groaning under this economic condition. So with all sense of reasoning, every reasonable government should listen to the people and tell the parts to which it will alleviate the suffering of Nigerians or the poor masses, so that the economic stimulations that the government is looking at a short or medium terms could actually be fulfilled if Nigerians are in peace and they have something to look forward to. So they are under such pressure, but not as much as we can think. It is the market forces that is enabling them. No matter how much of the pressure the people can to us give, if the price of the crude in the international market is not dropping, and if it's not getting a friendly business environment from government interventions in selling crude for Naira, it will be difficult for Dangote or any other refinery to do a price reduction, just as what we are seeing.
Would you say we've seen the impact of other refineries like Port Harcourt and Warri, and do they stand a chance, relative to a player like Dangote?
Yes, they has a chance, although their production capacity is lower, but if they come on stream, full stream, is the only major player, they will be able to play as well and give a good run for the good of the industry. If the refinery in Kaduna and Warri also take off, then you will see that we will have a lot of product into the market. And the economic principle is setting that said the more the product, the lower the price. If the product is scarce, the price will go up. It's a principle of economics. So that is what I can see that the Nigerian government is pushing towards, having to have a lot of refinery producing this thing, and then we will have export out of Nigeria that will support their economic fortune, while Nigerians is benefiting overall for a price reduction.
Dangote Refinery did not only, bring down the price, it also introduced what it called a refund policy, such that if you bought the commodity earlier on, you get the money back. You don't think that's a game changer in terms of customer loyalty and retention? And I'm wondering if you think there's even a fair playing ground for the other refineries in this regard.
It's a game changer, and it's a joker being played by the big boys in the industry. That will also put our national oil company on their toe to do likewise and optimize their processes. We need that kind of competition so that we will depart from era of only NNPC importing and distributing the product. Take, for example, since the Dangote comes on stream, you hardly see petrol scarcity. How will you see it? He has more than enough in the reserve. And they also is selling to the outside Nigeria. So this is a welcome development that even the national oil companies should also devise a means of having loyalty and customer retention. If they continue in this manner, it is healthy for the business community, it is healthy for the economy, and it's also for federal government to realize their SDG, Sustainable Development Goal they are pursuing in the hinterland and in the cities.
What impact do you see this have on the supply and demand chain in the industry?
Yeah. You can see, like I mentioned in my previous discussion, that when the supply is high, there is tendency for the price to go down. Then the next thing we're going to see is the stimulation for more people to be able to access it and buy, thereby giving more revenue to the producer or the seller. And then in the overall, is stimulating the economic growth. Some people who cannot run their generator because the cost of getting the petrol is out of their reach will return back to be able to buy and then use it to do their business, which eventually going to put an overall effect of economic development in the country. So demand and supply is also playing a role. If refinery in Warri and Port Harcourt is supplying some certain millions of liters a day, and Dangote is having several millions of liters a day, then this product needs to go somewhere. There's a limit at which they can keep it. So their inference, they need to do a market structure, a price that is easily affordable for people, for more people to come into the bracket of having the ability to buy, and then in the return, improve their bottom line and also improve the economic efficiency of Nigerian masses.
Are you concerned about independent marketers? Do they need regulatory policies for their survival?
Yes, they need. At that moment, I also run a product outfit in Osun State, and I'm following the space seriously. You know, as the farther you are from Lagos or the source of getting the product, the higher the price goes. So this is where the IPMAN and the petroleum independent marketer need to come together and also have a deal that is sustainable for their members to be able to reach their local consumer in our villages and towns.
Absolutely. But can we weigh them now when we look at potential risks, versus the opportunities arising from this price reduction? How can stakeholders mitigate or capitalize on them? Do you think there are more gains, than the potential risks in this regard?
Yes, I agree with them. There is potential more gain compared to the risk inherent in it. What we need now to look at is increase in our safety watch. The independent marketer or the petroleum transporting organization should be careful and be more deliberate in their action by avoiding overspeeding and spilling of this crude, of this product, in order not to affect the general populace and cause pain and mayhem. So we need more stringent safety measures right from the point of loading on our roads and also at the dispensing point. The government needs to do more infrastructure to revitalize our rail and let us be taking this product through rail. This will affect the incidents that are occurring on our road on almost weekly basis, killing a lot of Nigerians. Nobody needs to die just because of petrol products.
Just today, the Lagos State government, here's how the Nigerian Tribune put the story. Lagos government bows to pressure, suspends Lekki e-collop system. This has been a conversation for a while as regards the menace that these trucks, cause on our roads. You talked about accidents. A major stakeholders meeting held about fire disasters in this regard. But we haven't shown so much willpower to go digital with the way these trucks are called up. And there are lots of underhand processes as to how they invade our infrastructure and what have you. What's that gap that needs to be bridged in this regard?
Okay. Very good one. Your questions take me back to a live situation that I've witnessed on Lekki Express Road by Lekki Phase 1 roundabout. I saw this tanker laden with petroleum product. It was leaking. I had to drive and pursue it from Marwa. I met one of the organized security outfit, LASMA, and I stopped and I told them to stop that truck and ask them to retighten where this petroleum product is leaking. Do you know, to my dismay, they dismissed my warning. I just pray that that day there will not be a nickel fire along the route of that petroleum tanker. So it is a common effort that we need to make. Right from our law enforcement agency, the good-spirited individual like me, we must rise up to the occasion and stop the bad behavior of our drivers. Our road safety corps need to check drivers of their mental stability, check them for alcohol drinking, and then get them to rest when they need to rest. The incessant adverse of the petroleum tanker spillage and killing is too much. We all need to take a precautionary measure and be our brother's keeper. Everybody must be involved, both the road user, the law enforcement agency, the DPR, the road safety people. They need to conduct a check at their park and ensure that only the truck that is fit for the road is on the road and it's actually called up. Even the people that are at the point of loading, there must be an organized way of checking the tanker that you are loading. By this, we will curtail some of the SSEs and accidents that needlessly happen.
Absolutely. And that's a challenge that every stakeholder must take at this time. But, you know, there are conversations about quality of the product. I'm sure you've seen the video where people have shown the petrol from Dangote Refinery that looks clean and transparent compared to what Nigerians are used to. Do you think we will get to a point where that will matter to Nigerians, especially with this price war ongoing?
Definitely. It should matter to every good-spirited Nigerian. This petroleum product has what we call octane rating, and they are varies in degree. The cleaner you are, the better for our cars. Our car will stay longer without breaking down, and then we will reduce our rate of servicing, the rate of vehicle breaking down or engine packing up. So overall, it is important for us to watch that space, and ensure that our regulatory unit goes right in there and check every product that is going to the consumer.
We have to go now, but quick one. What's your outlook for the Nigerian downstream sector, both in the short and long term, given this recent development?
Very good. I could see a situations where Nigeria will be the most beneficial of this innovation that is coming and the effort of the government. We need to support the government and support the private sector people like Dangote, the manufacturing company, the servicing company like us, Mountains Energy Solution, to keep up the good work. It can only get better, and the future is bright for this country.
Energy expert, MD Mountains Energy Solutions, Olusegun Okedoye, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that's our program today, everyone. You can watch it again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.